Have you ever felt like you just need a better toolkit for life these days? Well, today we're going to unpack an ancient one, the 7 virtues. We're going to see how these principles, far from being some outdated list of rules, are actually an incredibly practical guide for navigating our really complex world. I mean, we are constantly just bombarded with information, right? Conflicting opinions, really tough choices. It is so easy to feel lost, to kind of wonder, what's really guiding my decisions when things get messy? Well, it turns out a framework that was developed centuries ago might just have the answers. It's a set of principles designed to give us clarity, a sense of direction, and a really solid foundation for who we want to be. So yeah, we're talking about the 7 virtues, and I want you to think of them less like a list of dusty old rules and more like a set of skills for living a truly meaningful and ethical life. They're actually broken down into 2 really powerful categories, which we're going to explore one by one. So the virtues are split into 2 main types. On one side, you've got the cardinal virtues. These come from classical philosophy, and they're basically our practical, day-to-day guides. And then on the other side, we have the theological virtues from Christian tradition. These are the ones that connect us to a deeper sense of meaning. Let's kick things off with those 4 foundations, the cardinal virtues. These are basically the hinges, and get this, the word cardinal actually comes from the Latin word for hinge, that a good and functional life really turns on. All right, here they are: prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance. So what do these actually mean, and why are they so incredibly important today? First up, prudence. Now, this isn't about being timid or afraid to act. It's about practical wisdom. It's the skill of seeing a situation for what it really is, weighing your options, and then making the right call. You could almost call it the captain of all the other virtues. And wow, is this relevant now? In an age of just endless information and, let's be honest, social media outrage, prudence is our filter. It's the thing that helps us pause, think critically, and act with intention, instead of just reacting on impulse. Okay, so from that personal wisdom, we move to social balance with justice. This is all about fundamental fairness in our relationships, in our society. It's about recognizing the worth of every single person and giving them what they're owed, basic respect and their rights. And this is exactly why justice is so vital today, right? It's the virtue that calls us to stand up to social inequity, to fight discrimination, and to actually work towards a world where everybody gets a fair shot. Building on that, we have fortitude, which you probably know better as courage. This is that inner strength to do the right thing, even when it's hard or scary or super unpopular. It's the moral backbone that keeps you standing tall when you're under pressure. And we're not just talking about physical bravery here. We're talking about the moral courage to call out unethical practices at work, or to just resist the social pressure to go along with something you know deep down is wrong. And rounding out these first 4 is temperance. This one is all about balance and self-control. It's the ability to master our own desires instead of letting them master us. It's about finding that healthy, sustainable middle ground. I mean, just think about our world of instant gratification. Temperance is the virtue that helps us push back against a culture of excess, whether that's mindless shopping, doom scrolling on our phones for hours, or even letting our own ambitions run wild. It's about living with intention. All right, so we've covered the foundations for how to live in the world. Now let's turn to the virtues that connect us to something bigger than ourselves, the theological virtues. These next 3, faith, hope, and charity, are really about our relationship with meaning, with the future, and maybe most importantly, with each other. So, faith. At its absolute core, faith is about trust. In the Christian tradition, that means trust in God. But even more broadly, it speaks to a commitment to a set of beliefs or principles that give your life meaning and purpose. You know, in our increasingly secular world, where a lot of the traditional sources of meaning are often questioned, faith can be a vital spiritual anchor. It helps answer those big why questions that, let's face it, we all have. Then there's hope. And this is so much more than just wishful thinking. It's a confident expectation that things can and will get better. It's the belief in a positive future, even when the present looks pretty bleak. And my goodness, this is so important right now. When we're staring down these huge global challenges like climate change or economic instability, hope is what fuels our resilience. It's the engine that keeps us moving forward and prevents us from just falling into despair. And finally, we have charity, which is really best understood as selfless love, or agape. It's considered the cornerstone, the absolute peak of all the virtues, because it's about actively wanting what is good for other people, without expecting anything back. In a culture that can sometimes feel very, very individualistic, charity is the powerful counterforce. It's the virtue that drives compassion, that inspires us to build stronger communities, and that reminds us, hey, we're all in this together. So let's just bring this all together for a second. When we feel like we're drowning in information overload, we have the filter of prudence. When we're faced with social inequity, we have the compass of justice. In a world full of global uncertainty, we have the resilience of hope. And against that rising tide of individualism, we have the connection of charity. It seems like this ancient toolkit is perfectly designed for our modern problems, doesn't it? And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Looking at the world around you today, which one of these 7 timeless virtues do you think we need the most right now? It's a really interesting thing to think about.